Yo, what is up, guys? Travis, aka Travis C. Today I'm coming at you with my part 2 of my Awakening Mystic Guide Series 2022. In my last video, we went over the full skill tree. We went over every single skill, pretty much, and we went over an SA rotation as well as common skills that are used for damage, utility, and movement. In this video, I'm going to be going over some animation cancels that you can do on Awakening Mystic. Now, this is not an end-all be-all, and I'll probably miss a couple or a few animation cancels, but for the most part, this is a good basis to get your fundamentals down. So we're going to go over the Waveorb Cancels first. Waveorb is an Awakening skill that has minus 30% attack speed and casting speed slow, but also does a good amount of damage. Now, the way to activate Waveorb is to hold S plus LMB plus RMB, or just LMB RMB when you're doing some cancels. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my keyboard on real quick here, so you guys can see the key inputs of these animations. Now, for a lot of the animation cancels you'll do, especially when you're comboing somebody, is you're going to start from pre-awakening into Waveorb. So pre-awakening is anything in your pre-awakened stance will cancel into Waveorb. So the most common skills you can use are Roaring Tiger, Elbow's Edge, and Mass Destruction into Waveorb. You can also do Crouching Wolf into Waveorb, like that. That's not as common, but it's pretty good. So Crouching Wolf into Waveorb was the first one I showed. I'm going to show you guys the other ones that are usually used. So Roaring Tiger is used because it's used in a combo. So let's go ahead and do that. So Roaring Tiger will consume 1 shard, and then we're going to go straight into Waveorb. So here goes. Just like that. LMB, RMB plus S. That cancels into Waveorb. The other one is going to be Elbow's Edge into Waveorb. This will be useful when you're comboing somebody. So let's say you you KD them with Roaring Tiger. Then you can do Elbow's Edge into Waveorb like that. Now, the last cancel I'll be going over for pre-awakening cancels into Waveorb is going to be Mass Destruction, and this one you can do within 1 or 2 hits of Mass Destruction. So if you do 3 hits of Mass Destruction, this cancel doesn't work, but if you do 2 or less, then it will work. So here we go. Like that. Now the animation, or the camera is locked in the direction you started. This is a new change that they made to Awakening Mystic after the reboots that really just, I don't know why they did it. It's kind of like a fuck you to the face, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. So that's one of the last useful cancels, I would say. And you gotta remember, all skills will cancel into Waveorb from pre-awakening. So but those were the most common, and those are the most commonly used in a combo. Elbow Edge, Roaring Tiger, and Mass Destruction to Waveorb. Now we're going to go over Awakening cancels. So our Awakening cancels, the main ones are going to be Tidal Burst is for PvE, Hurricane Sweep is for PvE. So these cancels are not really used in PvP that often, but here is Tidal Burst cancel. This is a PvE only cancel. I would never recommend using Tidal Burst in PvP unless you're open world and you want to, regen health on mobs. Now Hurricane Sweep also cancels Waveorb, but it's only the last kick of Hurricane Sweep. And you can do the last kick of Hurricane Sweep using S. So you can go like that. Alright, so those are the PvE cancels in Awakening. There are 2 PvP cancels in Awakening that I would use in a combo. So one is Dragon Strike and the other is Earth Splitter. Dragon Strike is a condensed version of Dragon Shatter since the reboots, and so basically, let's say I KD'd somebody and I just wanted to stay in Awakening. I just did Dragon Strike Waveorb right there. Let's see what else is there. And then Earth Splitter. So Earth Splitter is this kick move right here. It's S plus R and B. And so basically, this is used in PvE mainly, but you can use it in PvP as well. So let's say you're about to generate your third shard, boom, just like that. L and B plus R and B. And the last cancel, which is probably the most well known, is you can cancel it with a dash skill. So let's say they're right there. You can dash in and it'll cancel it. So it doesn't matter if you're in pre-awakening or awakening, this cancel works in both stances. Now we're going to go over Thunderpound Cancel. So Thunderpound is one of our major debuffs, and it's also one of our nice CC skills. It's a stun in awakening, but if they're on the ground, it'll KD. So let's go ahead and go over some of the cancels. So the reason why you want to cancel this animation is because once you get to the last hit of this skill right here, that last hit of skill will lock you in place. And a lot of times people will get behind your frontal guard and CC you because they'll see you doing your Thunderpound. So some ways to mitigate being predictable is using some cancels. So my favorite cancel out of Thunderpound just for baiting people is Rage Hammer, which is a bound and scissor kick. So scissor kick looks like that, and I'll rotate it because they'll usually try to come behind me. And then another cancel you can do is Rage Hammer before the animation or before the last hit. So those were the two cancels for Thunderpound that are not in a combo. Now outside of that, for comboing purposes, Thunderpound has a couple cancels. You can do Elbow's Edge to cancel the last hit. That way it doesn't go to your Thunderpound doesn't go into the last hit. Another cancel you can do is Roaring Tiger before Thunderpound goes to the last hit. The main reason you want to do that is because you use Thunderpound for the debuff, not the damage. Unlike Succession Mystic, Awakening Mystic's Thunderpound doesn't really do that much damage. Alright guys, so here's another cancel that is pretty useful. So this is Thunderpound S cancel. So what I'm going to do here is show you it with 20% attack speed. So here is Thunderpound no S cancel. Here's Thunderpound with S cancel. Again, here's Thunderpound with no S cancel. Here's Thunderpound with S cancel. It's that much quicker. Very useful. It can be the difference between somebody standing up and grabbing you versus somebody getting CC'd by a protected frontal guard KD. So, pretty useful. Definitely something you should be tracking. Another Thunderpound cancel you can do is Thunderpound into Silent Step. This is pretty good for when somebody continuously punishes your Thunderpound with a grab. And I will definitely say if I'm fighting a beginner Mystic and I see them go into this animation right here, I'll go in for the grab. So if you really want, you can also do Thunderpound Silent Step into Waveorb. That's another nice chain of skills, very useful. On to your Perfect Blow cancels. Perfect Blow is the Rablem, and this one's going to be a little bit longer because the skill cooldown is quite long. It's like 15 seconds, I believe. So Perfect Blow can cancel into your dash, and because it can cancel into your dash and it pushes you forward, it's very good for desyncing people. So let's say I wanted to grab this person here, and on my screen I'm all the way over here. I can close distances with the Perfect Blow dash grab very quickly. Just like that. Bang. You can see Perfect Blow, the animation, if you use it by yourself, right? You can see it lingers a little bit, and so you're kind of stuck. So these cancels are very important to know. So Perfect Blow dash works. Another common chain I'll use, especially if it's just 1v1, if I'm taking risks, I can do Perfect Blow dash Elbow's Edge. So you know how this guy was about this distance? I can go back this far and I can be that close. So Perfect Blow dash into Elbow's Edge. is a very good skill chain. And just so you know, dash into elbow's edge is pretty quick as well. Now, another perfect blow cancel I like to use, especially out of vacuum, is perfect blow mass destruction. That'll give you a good amount of, that'll get them stuck, and so that sometimes they'll sit in frontal guard, and then you get a perfect blow and they get behind them with mass destruction. So pretty good, pretty cool, and it also is used in combos, so just like that. So basically to make the perfect blow animation shorter. Alright, so those are the main perfect blow cancels. Now we're going to go to the twisted collision cancels and flows. So twisted collision has one of the major cancels is twisted collision into sea burial. This starts with Q and ends with W plus R and B. And I'll do it quicker. One of the easiest ways to learn it is just to hold W. So you can hold W and do it like that. Eventually you want to get to the point where you can just do Q and then W, so like that. And this is useful for combos, this is useful for PvE, but mainly you're gonna see it be used at like an end of a combo, like so. And since twisted collision is frontal guard, the sequence of twisted collision to sea barrel is pretty protected, with the first part being frontal guard, the second part being SA. Now, there are some twisted collision flows that are pretty useful. I lock Fatal Smash and Strike Through because R&B coincides with Sea Burial, but the flow Skyrammer and the flow Landslide are pretty important. What I like to do is I like to push L and B into Skyrammer. This gives you a lot of height. So let's say you're running away from somebody and they're chasing. You can do this into Skyrammer, and that chain of skills will get you a good amount of height. Now you can see that I didn't use Skyrammer right away. The best way to make this climb as high as you can is to wait until the first flow, which is L and B flow, Landslide. You wait until that has almost reached the end of its animation, and then you do Skyrammer. So those are your main twisted collision flows, and Succession Mystic you can do twisted collision into Sea Burial, I think, and into like other skill flows, but it doesn't work for Awakening Mystic because I don't think it either doesn't work for Awakening Mystic, or I can't get it right now. So yep. Alright, so the Thrashing Wolf cancels. So let's go ahead and get Thrashing Wolf here. Raging Wolf has the dash cancel and sidestep cancel. So I'll go over those real quickly. So Rage Hammer is good for 1v1. It's not considered the best nowadays, but I would say if I was 1v1ing somebody, I would definitely still use it. It gives you a nice speed buff. You can dash out of it, you can sidestep out of it, and it gives you a 20% attack speed buff and movement speed buff, and also will debuff your opponent by 15% movement speed wise. A very strong skill in 1v1. The cooldown is pretty long though, and you can get the same buff by doing 3-shard Crouching Wolf, but I think it has its place. So Thrashing Wolf cancels, the main two I'll be going over are Scissor Kick and Mass Destruction. Scissor Kick can be used with, you have to use the W plus F, so that would be one way to cancel out of it. Another cancel you can do is dash, but that's just more to reposition yourself in a better spot. And then my favorite one to use, especially in AOS, is Mass Destruction to fish for CCs. Alright, so now we're going to go into the miscellaneous cancels and flows. So Crouching Wolf, backstep into Hidden Claw. That's a very good, it's a good mechanic to learn. A lot of Suck Mystics will do it, and you can do it as well on Awakening. It's not as good as Suck Mystics though, because the Hidden Claw iframe is much shorter. Alright, Spiral Torpedo into Gushing Water. This is part of the SA rotation, and it's important because the Gushing Water will cover the gap of Spiral Torpedo, and since Gushing Water has such a small SA animation, it doesn't linger at all, I'd recommend doing a skill that has SA right after doing Gushing Water. So you do Spiral into Gushing Water into Rising Dragon, Spiral into Gushing Water into Sea Burial. A lot of different skills you can go into, and we did the SA rotation, but Spiral Torpedo into Gushing Water is a pretty good skill chain to learn, and all you have to do is press L and B. So make sure that flow is unlocked. Alright, so I'm going to go over some quick C swaps that you can do. There's two C swaps that I like to use quite often. The first one is going to be your S plus C swap into Awakening. So I'll do Thunderpound into S plus C swap. It's just good for swapping stance, and it also keeps your funnel guard up. I'll usually chain it with Thunderpound, like so. Another C swap you can do is W plus C, and this is frontal guard when you're going from Awakening to Pre-Awakening. Sometimes, since your dash swaps you into Awakening automatically after 2 dashes, it could be useful to have the frontal guard swap into Pre-Awakening versus using your Crouching Wolf or Perfect Blow options. Another C swap I like to use for comboing mainly is your A or D C swap, your Mass Destruction C swap. This can be useful especially when you don't have quick swaps to Pre-Awakening. So let's say I was comboing somebody and I was in Awakening, then I can use my D plus C swap to get me into Pre-Awakening. And that C swap is frontal, Super Armor because it's using Mass Destruction as a basis. And another C swap that's protected, but I don't usually use that often, is the W plus C swap. It's protected, but the protection is very very short. Whereas the S plus C swap is good, and the W plus C swap is pretty good as well. Now the only C swap you probably don't want to ever use is S plus C from Awakening to Pre-Awakening, as that has no protection at all. Okay, we have Somersault into Dash Buster. This skill, I would say Dash Buster is useful, but it's mainly to bait somebody to come in. So not a lot of people will know that this is SA, and lingering SA at that. So if you do this, you can potentially bait somebody to coming in, and this whole time you can potentially just grab them. So let's say they come in, then you grab them, just like that. So I wouldn't say I use it that often, but when I do, I know I'm safe on the somersault portion, and I know somebody wants me. So I'll set it up so that they're baited to come in. Another thing I learned recently is this cancel right here. It's not protected. This little tiny linger of SA is not protected. So you can see my mouse function 2 is basically my jump. So this would be space L and B for other people. I like to use this skill to traverse high ground to lower ground. It's pretty useful because if you're just like walking or you're trying to jump, you'll get a fall animation. This will take the fall animation away. Let's see. I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. All right, so let's say what you want to call it. Let's say you wanted to get off here, you get a falling animation for sure, but if you do the jump cancel, it takes away that fall animation. So yeah, pretty good cancel. The last cancel I'll go over is Mass Destruction. This is not a cancel, this is more just a fun one. This is not needed, this is just something I learned recently from Windows. Basically, if you tap R and B, you can make Mass Destruction slower. So Mass Destruction is usually like this, right? That quick. Alright, that quick. But if you tap R and B, you can make it slower. Oh. just like that. And it takes a lot of practice, and honestly doesn't have too much function, and I mess it up quite a bit. But once you master it, I think it'll have its place. But you want to know that since you're separating each hit of Mass Destruction by tapping R and B, each hit will CC, versus just the regular animation doesn't do the triple CC. This one where you do separated. So I didn't do that properly that time. So let's do it. It'll CC cap basically on the last hit, as you saw there. So that's just something to note. If you catch somebody with this like lingering Mass Destruction, make sure to cancel it before the last one. And you can see I'm like messing up on it right now. So it's definitely something you practice. And you can see if you do it correctly, you'll CC cap somebody standing. Or if you do it the tempo correctly. So those are the main animation cancels I'll be going over. I went over today. So to recap, we went over some Waveorb cancels. We went over some Thunderpound cancels, Perfect Blow cancels, Twisted Collision, flows, and cancels, Thrashing Wolf cancels, and some other miscellaneous cancels and flows. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And the next video, I'll be going over combos. Hope this video helped you guys. Again, I'll try to put timestamps, but for the main part, these cancels are going to be useful for just regular PvP. A lot of different scenarios that these cancels will come in use, and ultimately it teaches you things you're going to need to know for my combo guide anyway. Alright, this has been Travis, aka Travesty. Long form content guides. I can't be asked to edit too much, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Please leave a like or comment if this guide helped you out. Peace.